Spyro the Dragon was a very well-known character during the early years of the PlayStation, but many people thought he was outdated once Ratchet and Clank came about. But then there came Skylanders, and that kind of brought him back. Skylanders seemed to be very original and inspirational to the gaming world. Now, we're only going to stick to talking about the gameplay, because if we talk about the story of all the original Spyro games, that could take a long time. But we're only here to talk about the old school Spyro games. So let's start with the first one, Spyro the Dragon on the original PlayStation. I love how the sheep turn into butterflies when you kill them. Spyro has his charge and his fire attack. These attacks are very useful in their own ways, so you will be able to use both attacks equally. There are some things containing jewels that you can't collect shooting fire at, only by charging, and there are some enemies that are too big to charge at, so you have to burn them to death. Listen to Spyro's voice. He sounds so stupid.
Looks like I've got some things to do.
Looks like I got some things to do.
Then you have Sparks. Tell me how a dragonfly is supposed to protect a dragon. When you get hit once, Sparks turns blue. When you get hit twice, he turns green. When you get hit a third time, he's gone. So if you get hurt when Sparks is gone, you're dead. It really sucks when you lose Sparks completely, because when you try to collect jewels, usually Sparks gets them for you. So when he's not there, you have to walk perfectly into them. And sometimes they're right on the edge of a cliff, and it becomes really hard to get them. You collect dragons because they turn into frozen glass. Look how long it takes for some of these to break open. After you break open the trapped dragon, a fairy pops up in its place. Sometimes I accidentally step on it, making me talk to the fairy. The camera angle is the worst. You always have to wait for the camera to move if you go into a view looking at Spyro's face. It's terrible. Now let's move on to Spyro 2. Or Ripto's Rage. Or wait, is it 2? Why would they put the 2 behind the title like that, and in the parentheses on the side? Were they not sure if they wanted to make this the second game or not? They did the same thing with Ratchet and Clank going commando. Alright, so let's talk about the game. Spyro 2 had major improvements over the first game. The camera angle isn't quite as bad in this one, and it has more variety. You can even play hockey with Jason Voorhees. Nah, I wish. So instead of rescuing the other dragons, in this one you collect talisman and orbs. Isn't that kind of weird? So at the beginning, Spyro wants to go to a new world because he wants to be on the beach in the nice summer weather, rather than being in his own world because it's always raining. Good story, right? So then you go to the new world and find Ripto, who destroys the portal, and then you start collecting the talisman. There's not much else really to say about this game. It's one of those games where you just have to play it for yourself to experience most of the fun. So let's move on. Spyro Year of the Dragon. Look how awesome the disc looks. Why did they make it look so boring on the collector's edition? Unfortunately, the cool looking one doesn't work, so we had to play the boring one. This one was probably everybody's favorite Spyro game of all time, and I think I know why too. Because it's perverted. Listen!
Crawl back up that hole you came through. From coming through.
Fit down the holes.
What are these two doing? Having sex? Whoa, what's going on there? Look at all these lizards waiting to get it up the ass. Even the baby dragons are upset with how perverted this game is. Now let's talk about the actual gameplay. You move much more fluent, and Spyro actually sounds like a badass in this game. Listen.
You got it.
Now let's compare his original voice with his new voice.
Like I've got some things to do. You got it.
What a huge improvement. There's so much more activity to do in this one too, like going skateboarding and playing as new characters, like Sheila the kangaroo. She's pretty cool. All of the alternative characters have their own attacks and abilities. Is this goat retarded? Look at this part. How many could fit in these tiny houses? I wonder what they're doing in there anyways. Oh wait, it's Spyro the Dragon. We already know. Can you say perverted? You can also play as Sergeant Bird, Bentley the Yeti, and Agent 9. Even Sparks the Dragonfly struts his stuff. No, seriously, that's what it says on the back. So, I'll give you a quick description of the story. A new batch of dragon eggs has arrived, and the dragon world hums with festivities. But a disgruntled sorceress has hatched her own plot to steal them all. Dragonkind could become extinct. Get it? Extinct?
Excellent.
So instead of finding dragons or talisman in this one, you collect dragon eggs. I feel like that's a little bit of a bigger deal here. I mean, thousands and thousands of poor baby little innocent dragons have been stolen. Who cares? Then there's this asshole Moneybags. He's really greedy and he takes your money every time you need him to do a solid.
That's good of you,
But
Mike.
don't worry, at the end of the game, you get to give him what he deserves and get all your jewels back. The bosses in this game are pretty cool too. Look at this one. He looks like Bulbasaur. What was that? I hate these guys. They always tease you and it's so hard to catch them. Come back! Oh, cool, look. I found a dragon egg. I wonder which one's inside of it.